Darth Nihilus was more than just a Sith Lord, he was a wound in the Force itself. Originally from the Knights of the Old Republic games, his statue now stands on Exegol, confirming his place in canon. He existed as pure hunger, consuming entire worlds through the Force. Nihilus represented the ultimate expression of dark side consumption, literally feeding on the life energy of planets and their inhabitants to sustain his own existence. His transformation from mortal being to Force phenomenon occurred during a catastrophic event that stripped away his physical humanity while amplifying his connection to the dark side exponentially. The mask and robes that served as his physical form became legendary artifacts in their own right, each piece containing fragments of his terrible hunger. His ability to drain entire worlds made him feared even by other Sith, who recognized that his appetite might eventually consume everything in the galaxy, including themselves. Darth Bane changed everything. After watching the Sith nearly destroy themselves through constant infighting, he established the rule of two. Always two there are, a master and an apprentice. This single decision shaped the next 1,000 years of galactic history. Bane appeared as a fiery vision to Master Yoda on the ancient Sith world of Moraband. His philosophy emphasized patience, cunning, and the gradual accumulation of power rather than the chaotic warfare that had previously characterized Sith society. Bane believed that multiple Sith would inevitably turn on each other, weakening the dark side's potential. By limiting their numbers, he ensured that each generation would be stronger than the last, culminating in the perfect Sith who could destroy the Jedi forever. Darth Xanna was Darth Bane's apprentice and enforced the rule of two by killing her master on the planet Ambira. She set the pattern that would continue for 1,000 years. The apprentice must eventually surpass and destroy the master to claim their place in the Sith legacy. Her victory over Bane represented the first successful implementation of his rule of two philosophy, proving that the system could produce successively stronger Sith generations as intended. Xanna's specialization in Sith sorcery complemented Bane's more physical approach to the dark side, demonstrating that the rule of two could accommodate different expressions of Sith power while maintaining overall effectiveness. Her establishment of training protocols and succession rituals became the foundation for all subsequent Sith master-apprentice relationships, creating institutional stability that allowed the Order to survive in hiding for a millennium. The battle on Ambira was reportedly witnessed by local Force-sensitive creatures who fled the planet permanently, suggesting the conflict's intensity exceeded normal lightsaber duels and involved reality-altering applications of dark side power. Darth Deedu was known as the immortal God King of Prakia. This ancient Sith was so feared that his name became a literal curse. People would swear by Deedu's flames thousands of years after his death. Emperor Palpatine respected him so much that he named an entire legion after him during the Final Order. His mastery of dark side alchemy was legendary, allowing him to extend his life far beyond natural limits. Ancient texts suggest he ruled Prakeeth with an iron fist, transforming the world into a fortress of dark side energy. The planet's very atmosphere became saturated with his malevolent presence, creating storms that raged for centuries after his passing. Darth Atrius wielded twin crossguard lightsabers similar to Kylo Ren's, but with a terrifying difference. His rage was so intense that it permanently tainted the blades themselves. For thousands of years, anyone who touched these weapons was infected with uncontrollable fury. The sabers were so dangerous that both Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader had to destroy them completely. Archaeological evidence suggests Atrius forged these weapons during a period of intense personal trauma, channeling his hatred into the very crystals. The crossguard design wasn't just aesthetic, it was necessary to contain the raw emotional energy coursing through the blades. Jedi scholars theorized that his anger was so pure and concentrated that it achieved a form of dark side immortality through the weapons themselves. Darth Plegus was Palpatine's master and one of the most skilled Sith Lords ever. He rediscovered the lost art of essence transfer and could influence the Force to create life itself. Some believe he was responsible for Anakin Skywalker's virgin birth, but he made a fatal mistake. He trusted Sheev Palpatine, who killed him in his sleep. Plagueis spent decades researching ancient Sith techniques that had been lost during the Rule of Two's implementation, combining scientific methodology with Force-based experimentation to achieve unprecedented results. His laboratory contained equipment that blended cutting-edge technology with Sith alchemy, creating hybrid techniques that neither pure science nor traditional Force use could accomplish alone. The relationship between master and apprentice became uniquely collaborative, with Plagueis treating Palpatine Palpatine more as a research partner than traditional subordinate, ultimately leading to his downfall when he failed to recognize his students' growing ambition and impatience with the collaborative approach. Darth Sidious, you saw Emperor Palpatine himself, was the beneficiary of a 1,000-year Sith plan. He successfully engineered the Clone Wars, destroyed the Jedi Order, and formed the Empire. But Sidious was different from previous Sith. He pursued forbidden dark side powers that even other Sith considered too dangerous, blending the Force with science to achieve immortality through cloning and essence transfer. By the sequel trilogy, he claimed to embody all previous Sith Lords. His mastery of political manipulation exceeded even his considerable Force abilities, demonstrating that the dark side's influence could be exercised through institutional power as effectively as through direct Force application. The cloning facilities on Exegol represented the culmination of both his own research and knowledge inherited from predecessors like Darth Plegus, creating backups for his consciousness that could survive physical death. His claim to embody all previous Sith was both metaphorical and literal, as his essence transfer techniques allowed him to absorb knowledge and power from ancient Sith spirits preserved in various artifacts and locations throughout the galaxy. Darth Maul was forged by Palpatine as a weapon against the Jedi, but he was meant to be discarded after killing Qui-Gon Jinn. When Obi-Wan seemingly killed him, Palpatine simply moved on, but Maul survived and learned he'd been abandoned. This broke the traditional Sith chain and led to decades of revenge plots against his former master. Maul became a crime lord, survived Order 66, and was finally killed by Obi-Wan on Tatooine years later. His survival through pure hatred demonstrated the dark side's power to sustain life beyond normal limits, though at the cost of sanity and identity. Maul's criminal empire included Death Watch, the Pike Syndicate, and other underworld organizations, proving his tactical genius extended beyond lightsaber combat. His final confrontation with Obi-Wan revealed a broken man who had never escaped his master's manipulation, dying with the realization that he had always been nothing more than a tool to be used and discarded. Darth Kaldoth was a Duros who specialized in creating dark side creatures. His experiments in Sith alchemy produced monstrosities that terrorized multiple star systems, creatures that blended organic life with dark side corruption. Kaldoth's laboratories were said to be filled with twisted abominations, each one a testament to his cruel genius. The Night Sisters eventually drove him from Dathomir, but not before he stole several of their ancient secrets, incorporating their magic into his own dark arts and creating hybrid techniques that neither faction had previously imagined possible. Darth Dolace was likely one of the lost 20 fallen Jedi Masters who abandoned the Order. He became so notorious that Palpatine named the 44th Legion after him. In the old timeline, he was powerful enough that Darth Vader's secret apprentice had to face him in combat training. Historical records suggest he led a bloody campaign against his former Jedi colleagues, turning their own techniques against them with devastating effectiveness. His knowledge of Jedi tactics and philosophy made him particularly dangerous, as he could anticipate their moves and exploit their moral limitations. The 44th Legion's brutal efficiency in hunting surviving Jedi during the Empire's reign was said to mirror Dolace's own methodical approach to destroying those who had once called him brother. Darth Vader was the chosen one corrupted. Conceived by the Force itself, Anakin Skywalker was destined to bring balance, but Palpatine's manipulations turned him into the Empire's enforcer. For over 20 years, Vader hunted Jedi and crushed rebellions, but the light in him wasn't completely dead. His love for Luke ultimately redeemed him and destroyed his master. His transformation from Anakin to Vader represented the most tragic fall in galactic history, as his desire to save those he loved ultimately led to their destruction and his own enslavement to the dark side. The mechanical suit that sustained his life became both symbol of his power and constant reminder of his failures, with every breath serving as meditation on pain and loss. His efficiency as Jedi hunter stemmed from intimate knowledge of Jedi techniques and psychology, allowing him to anticipate their moves and exploit their compassionate nature against them. The preservation of Anakin's love for his family despite decades of dark side corruption demonstrated the light side's ultimate power over darkness, proving that even the most fallen could be redeemed through the bonds of love and sacrifice. Exar Kun based himself on Yavin 4, the same moon where the Rebel Alliance would later hide. The massive Massassi temples that housed the rebellion were actually built in his honor. His influence was so strong that Sith artifacts from his temple were still being discovered during the original trilogy era. Kun's corruption of the Massassi people transformed them from a proud warrior race into devoted slaves who willingly sacrificed their lives to fuel his dark side rituals. The temples themselves were designed as massive focusing crystals, concentrating dark side energy and amplifying Kun's power across the galaxy. Even millennia later, sensitive Force users reported feeling an oppressive presence within the ancient structures, as if Kun's malevolent spirit still lingered in the very stones his slaves had carved. Exampard called himself a Sith viceroy, suggesting he ruled during the ancient Sith Empire. His mask became a legendary artifact sought after by dark side users who believed wearing it would grant them Panchard's power. Archaeological evidence suggests he governed an entire sector of the ancient Sith Empire with unprecedented cruelty, implementing policies that maximized suffering among his subjects. His administrative innovations in oppression were later studied and adapted by imperial governors, proving that his legacy of evil transcended death itself and influenced galactic politics for millennia. These Sith Lords reflect a legacy of darkness stretching back thousands of years, each building on the last in a relentless pursuit of power. But disturbingly, they may only be the beginning. In part 2, we'll uncover the hidden Sith Lords lost to history and explore the lingering dark side forces that still threaten the galaxy. Stay tuned for that video, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more related content shown on screen.